or just turns into glitter. Happy Black History Month. Yeah, I just moved. I moved to New York about 2 months ago. I work for the Smithsonian in DC, where, by the way, everything is fine and normal. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I just got sick of people arguing at happy hour, so I came here where people argue in the street, and it feels safe. Right before I moved, I was excited because I got to go to something called Blurred Con. So as a Black nerd, this is like a POC-centric anime convention. It is why Trump won, and like I love seeing other Black geeks in costume, carefree. You know, I think it is a gorgeous way to tell the ancestors, like, look, you did it! We've got time on our hands now! They marched in their Sunday shoes so we could be barefoot like Frodo in America. They followed the North Star so we could be Sailor Moon looking as good. They learned to read in secret so we could speak parcel tongue in public. There has to be a hard Narnia. I respect that. My dad's Black. My mom's half Black, half Japanese, which makes me Ethiopian. And according to most Ethiopians, where are you from, sister? Sorry, Omari. Anyway, I grew up I was born and raised in Tokyo. Japanese was my first language. It's rough. Japan sometimes discriminates if you don't look like it's your first language, and I can't imagine that here in America. Just a joke. It turns out we're united by xenophobia. It's one world. And I'm happy to be in New York. I was living in DC for about 7 years, and this bizarre reality of my time there is that I got with 3 guys from the University of Maryland Physics Department. Yes! And I have never attended the University of Maryland. I have never studied physics. I'm just not that attracted to social skills, apparently. And the weird thing is, I met a guy from OkCupid, and then over food he was like, I have to take physics classes for work, and I was like, oh, where? And he said, the University of Maryland. And I was like, ah. What a curious phenomenon. Could it be that the University of Maryland Physics Department is conducting an experiment on the probability of fucking me? Or they're attracted to medium social skills. You know what I offer. I've been writing some science fiction erotica, so things are going well. Thank you. The 2 lovers in my tale are 17th century astronomist Isaac Newton and the concept of gravity. Newton inhaled sharply as his britches fell to the ground, thanks to the eager force of gravity. This exposed Newton's ready erection, which he brandished as he said to his lover, "Do you see how it defies you?" Direction that narrative will go. Oh my gosh, you guys are so fun. I'm happy to be here. My shit is I have a master's in public history, which is why I'm here, because when you're in the humanities, you want a stable backup like stand-up comedy. And I feel like from my classes, I always remember just sort of the most, important things. Like, for example, I feel like in English we have all these expressions for getting drunk, right? Does anybody have a favorite? Being smashed. Visceral. What did you say? Rat sauced? Is that just a New York subway thing? What? Okay, cool. Yeah, we have so many, and some are based on historical shit. For example, Benjamin Franklin had one. So actually, the deal is like the colony of Barbados had all these sugar plantations and made a lot of rum, right? And then Franklin called the act of being drunk "Been to Barbados," and I love to imagine him trying to make us a thing at a party and just confusing the shit out of John Adams or somebody, you know. He's like, "It appears our friend Jefferson has been to Barbados." And then Adams was like, "Does he have a bastard child in the Indies?" And then Jefferson was in the corner like, "Spring break 89! Spring 89! Anyway, I feel like I could be Jefferson's type. Not my first white man with a ponytail that runs an urban farm. Also, I was at this wedding for my friend. I was a bridesmaid. The groom and all the groomsmen were urban farmers. That's how they knew each other. My life is a prison. And I hooked up with one, and then in the morning he was like, "Am I your first farmer?" And I was like, "Yeah, whatever." And then he was like, "You're my first black woman." And I was like, "I know. This is strictly reparation." But I sailed the Atlantic to the farm in Sacramento. Okay. I guess for a moment, I think I want to talk to you about one of my favorite songs recently. Like, I like to collect old records, but I want to talk to you about one of my favorite songs as an artifact of American culture. So if you know it, everybody else in the back, please feel free to join in. Okay, ready? Back it up, let me hear you just. Drop it low, let me hear you just. Wobble baby, yeah. Wobble baby, thank you, get in there. Yeah, thank you, get in there. Yeah. Hey, big girl, make him back it up. Okay, anyway, so the civil rights movement oversaw white Americans embrace black music as American music. And this was so important, you know. I went to a wedding where I saw a lot of old white people dancing to wobble. And I just thought, oh, progress has gone too far. Martin said he had a dream, not a mild nightmare. Happy Black History Month. I don't know, you know, I feel like it's like it's a tough political moment right now, especially coming out of DC. Like, I feel pretty entrenched in that. Like, it's tense, but it's a cool time for comedy, right? And I think it's also particularly like an exciting time for women in comedy. But meanwhile, like, I was at a show, and then I got on stage, and this woman around my age came up to me at the bar, and she said, "Hey, I don't normally find women comedians funny. Do you have brothers?" And I was like, I thought like, oh, well, thanks for building me up, cunt. And then like, at this other show, this guy came up to me and he said verbatim, he was like, "Hey, you don't have to feminize your voice on stage." And I was like, "Thank you, I feel so free." Complete stranger. That is like if I went up to like a dude ballet dancer, you know, and after the show, and I was like, "That looks really hard to tuck." Have you thought of full castration? Just gonna put it out there. Okay, I'm gonna wind down. You guys are so fun. I really appreciate you. You know, I really love I love you guys. I love history a lot. I also like learning about like my family history. You know, and so the deal is like my mom's father was in Japan for World War II, where he married a Japanese woman, my grandmother, which makes me feel like I am the product of so many Japanese women that were really into black culture. Like what was going on? They discovered Wakanda too early. You know. So, like, what if in the mid-19th century, my great something was just out working a rice field and then broke out into a perfectly memorized Negro spiritual? You know, like Suingulo, Suito, Charioto, coming for Tsuting. 3/4 allowed to tell that joke. Anyway, that's what I want to find on Ancestry.com. Okay, guys, thank you so much for your time.
Party, everybody. Support Black people. But seriously, do that. Support them. Follow us. Yo, squad. Yo. You've been holding it down. You've been holding it down. The red, you've been holding it down. Okay. Yo, we made it to the end of the show. Congratulations. Y'all have been a great audience. Okay. I don't know if we established a connection this whole time. I want to take time out to bring out the regular host of the show, who I'm co-hosting for her tonight, actually. She